Hello again. It's good to see you back. It's good to have you back. I'm glad to see you. You've been a very faithful, loyal student, loyal and faithful. You've been a very loyal student following this class every day and learning a little bit every day, I hope. Different voices listening to me, to Layla, to Alberto, to Richard, to all the other teachers. Yes, to Kyle. 10 of us. I think there are 10 of us. Somos 10 en total, ¿no? 9 más yo. Somos 10. ¿Cómo se dice eso en inglés? No digáis we are 10. Si digáis we are 10, si decís we are 10, estáis diciendo que tenemos 10 años de edad. Okay? Si vais a un restaurante y decís in England or in America, you say, we are 5. The waiter said, really? Well, I'm 27. Okay? So you don't say that in English. You say, there are 5 of us. Hay 5 de nosotros. And there are 10 of us, I believe. 9 teachers plus me. So there are 10 of us. And we're all enjoying this program, and we're very pleased with the feedback we're getting. We're getting very good feedback on the pedagogical side. Sometimes on the technical side, some people are upset because they don't receive the signal very well, but we don't control that. We are the software, not the hardware. We are the software on this program. And the feedback we're getting is very, very good. So I want to thank you, and I'm sure the other teachers want to thank you as well, for the time you've taken to watch this show on a daily basis. Many of you watch us every day. And so it's an honor and a privilege. Privilege, fijaos, privilegio, privilege en inglés. La GE al final de las palabras es siempre un sonido de che. Conocimiento, knowledge. Hipoteca, mortgage. Cambio, change. Privilegio, privilege. Edad, age. Okay, there are a lot. So, this is class number 170. We have 26 classes left, which means 5 weeks plus 1 day. 5 weeks plus 1 day. It's almost 1 month only. A month plus 6 days. So, we're moving steadily towards the end. Steadily. Yes, moving forward. Slowly but surely, step by step, little by little, we're getting closer and closer to the final destination. Destino final. We say destinación. There are 2 words in English for destino. Destination, es el destino físico de llegada, and destiny, mi destino en la vida, mi sino, mi destino. De ser profesor de inglés. My destiny, my fate. Aquí diría fate, escrito fate, para lo que es mi destino como mi sino. Mi destino es ser profesor. My fate is to be a teacher forever. Yes, in my next life I'm not going to be a teacher. Maybe. I like it. But nevertheless, class number 170, Maria is telling me to get to work. Stop rambling. Stop rambling. Okay, I'll stop rambling. To ramble, escrito ramble, comes from ir por los cerros de Úbeda. Yeah, to ramble without a fixed destination, without a fixed route. I'm simply rambling. Eso en inglés es vagar. All right? All right? Just to ramble. Okay? When I came to Spain, I said Las Ramblas in Barcelona. I said, wow, es vagar por una calle. Walking is very similar. Y una rambla is a type of geological, similar to a river that goes down from the mountains. Most people don't know. But let's change to camera 1 and review class 169, because Maria is reminding me that I need to change, and she's telling me to stop rambling. So let's change. Okay, class number 169. Very easy class. When did Genghis Khan conquer the world? He conquered the world in the 13th century. All right. When was Joan of Arc burned at the stake? Joan of Arc was burned at the stake in the early 15th century. When were Ferdinand and Isabella married? They were married in around 1569, I believe, or 1570. When did Ferdinand become the King of Spain? Well, he became the King of Spain when he married Isabella. All right? Isabella. En inglés decimos Isabella for Isabella Católica. Ferdinand and Isabella. And when did Cervantes write the first book of Don Quixote? I don't know. I think he wrote the first book of Don Quixote around 1604, exactly 100 years after Isabella died in 1504. When did Machiavelli write The Prince? I think he wrote The Prince around 1515 or before. He wrote The Prince when Ferdinand of Aragon was still alive, but after Isabella died. So he wrote the book between 1505 and 1517. When did Charles I become the King of Spain? I think he became the King of Spain in 1517. When did he reach Spain for the first time? He reached Spain around that time, yeah, in Asturias, in Tazones. He reached from the Low Countries. When did George Washington become the first president of the United States? He became the first president of the United States in 1787, 2 years before the French Revolution. When did he retire from office? George Washington. He retired from office 8 years later in 1795, 96, in 1796, all right? And when did Abraham Lincoln become the President of the United States? He was elected in 1860, and he was inaugurated in March 1861, all right? And when did Theodore Roosevelt invade Cuba? Well, excuse me, Theodore Roosevelt didn't invade Cuba. He was a general in the army. William McKinley, his predecessor, invaded Cuba in 1898. All right, I'll see you in a few minutes.
Hello there, my name is Carly Carson. Nice to see you again. Before we start the review of our previous class, I want to introduce my student. I'm here with David. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Look at him, he's great. Lots of energy today,
Yeah.
David. Excellent. All right, we are going to do a review of the previous class, like I said, and we're going to start with mastering the interrogative. So I'm going to give emphasis on a sentence, and David is going to ask me questions with when. So all of them are focusing on when. You at home, try to beat him, all right? He's going to be fast, so you need to be faster. All right, so speaking out loud. They'll be here at 5 p.m.
When will they be here?
Perfect, good. Did you get it faster than him? Okay, you got to be fast here. We saw them last Christmas.
When did you see them?
Good, yeah. When did you see them? Perfect. They play next week.
When do they play?
Yeah, good. Notice here, they play in the present simple. So they play next week. When do they play? Because it's present simple. Good. They're planning to get married in July.
When are they planning to get married?
Very good. When are they planning, right? They're aware that they're going to do it, so they're planning. Good. They'll be leaving on the weekend.
When will they be leaving?
Perfect. Good. When will they be leaving? I met him 7 years ago.
When did you meet him?
Very good. He's unstoppable here, guys. At home, you have to be faster than him. Good. I talked to her about that yesterday.
When did you talk to her about that?
Very good, yeah. They moved to Cuba in 1977.
When did they move to Cuba?
Very good. When did they move to Cuba? Good. I talked to her 3 days ago.
When did you talk to her?
Very good, yeah. When did you talk to her? Good. Repeat that.
When did you talk to her?
Good. Lots of intonation. When did you talk to her? Good. We won't know anything until tomorrow.
Sorry, could you repeat, please?
We won't know anything until tomorrow.
When will you do something?
We won't know anything until tomorrow.
When will you know anything?
Yeah, or something you can say here.
Okay.
Here's the reason. When will you know something sounds better because we're focusing on something. Something is the subject here. So we won't know anything until tomorrow. When will you know something? That's the most natural question.
Okay, good.
You'll realize, and I don't know if you've noticed, sometimes in English we say something in questions.
Yes,
Or
sometimes.
someone,
and,
yeah?
and I get confused. Why?
I know,
Why?
I know.
Now I know.
Now, here's the thing. When it's a true question, will you know anything tomorrow? Yeah? That's a true question. But if it's not a true question, we can put something in there. Yeah? Did you
Okay.
say something? And I can
Okay.
see that you are going to say, did you say something? So if it's a neutral question, anything. If I
Okay.
know that there's evidence there and I'm expecting something, you can say something. Yeah?
Okay.
There you go.
Right.
All right. I came to Spain 3 years ago.
When did you come to Spain?
Excellent, good. When did you come? Come, came, come. When did you come to Spain? Good. Let's see. I started studying when I was 18 years old.
When did you start studying?
When did you start?
When did you start to study?
Good. Or with the
Uh,
gerund.
when did you start studying?
Excellent, yeah, because you can have to study or to begin with the infinitive or with the gerund. Very good. And the last one. I woke up this morning at 7 a.m.
What time did you wake up this morning?
Perfect, good. Unbeatable, guys. All right, now we're going to go into the past simple and the present perfect. And David is going to be asking me some questions, again at home. Practice out loud. So, David, ask me how many times I went to Canada last year.
How many times did you go to Canada last year?
Very good. I went to Canada 3 times. And so far this year, ask me.
How many times have you been to Canada so far this year?
Excellent. How many times have you been or gone to Canada? I've gone to Canada twice. Yeah? So
Okay.
past, present perfect. Past, present perfect. Ask me how many times I ate sushi last month.
How many times did you eat sushi last month?
Good. I ate it 5 times. And so far this month?
How many times have you eaten sushi so far this month?
Very good. Yeah, I've eaten 5 times as well. I love sushi. Good. Ask me how many jokes John told me last week.
How many jokes did John tell you last week?
Good, excellent. How many jokes did John tell you? We tell jokes in English, yeah? We don't say, we tell. Very good. And so far this week?
How many times has John
How
told?
many jokes?
How many jokes has John told you so far this week?
Perfect, good. How many jokes has John told you? Okay, we tell jokes in English. Good. Ask me how many times he talked to her last month.
How many times did he talk to her last month?
Perfect, good. Now, talk to or talk with?
Talk to.
Always, yeah. Now, sometimes we do say talk with, but it's not common. So you, because you're Spanish, talk to. So we don't make the translation bad. Good, and ask me this month how many times he's talked to her.
How many times has he talked to her so far this month?
Perfect, very good. Now with David, he's really good pronunciation of talked to. How many times has he talked to her? Talked to her. That won't get easy until you practice and you repeat and repeat. So at home, talked to her. Talked to her. Make sure you get the talked to. Good. David, ask me how many times Tom took me to the airport last year.
How many times did Tom take you to the airport last year?
Excellent, good. And so far this year?
How many times has Tom taken you to the airport so far this year?
Good, lots of T's. Repeat
Yes.
that.
How many times has Tom taken you to the airport so far this year?
Perfect, good. So how many times has Tom taken you to the airport? It's a tongue twister, yeah? Trabalenguas. Good. Ask me how many times my mother called me yesterday.
How many times did your mother call you yesterday?
Excellent, good. And so far today?
How many times has your mother called you so far today?
Very good, yeah. Now, David speaks really fast, but he is pronouncing. And if you don't speak that fast, don't worry. You have to pronounce first and speak fast later. Keep practicing. Bye-bye.
Okay, this section is with a very important phrasal verb. Verbo compuesto. Easy. This is an easy phrasal verb. To set up. Let's go to camera 1 and focus on to set up, please. Okay. To set. Set up. S-E-T. To set has several meanings. Okay. To set can be to, in American English, not British, to set the table is poner la mesa. The British say to lay, L-A-Y, to lay the table. The Americans to set the table. To set is also poner el despertador, to set the alarm clock. Never to put. To put sería colocarlo en un sitio. To set the alarm clock. Okay? To set also is fijar la hora de la reunión. To set. Equivalent to schedule or schedule. You schedule the meeting for 10 o'clock. You set the meeting for 10 o'clock. All right? To set. All right? Now, to set up means to organize. Or, if you're talking about a business, montar un negocio. All right? There are many ways of saying, well, many no, maybe 3 or 4 ways about a business. To set up a business is montar un negocio, montar una empresa. To set up a company, to set up a business, to start, simplemente empezar. To start a company and to start a business. De ahí viene la palabra startups. Las pequeñas iniciativas empresariales con capital de semilla, dicen es capital de arranque. These are startups, to start a business. But usually in everyday English, it's set up a business, set up a company, to set up a new organization, to set up. Also, we can say to set up a meeting. But to set up a meeting is to organize everything around the meeting, not only to set the time. Part of setting up a meeting is to set the time of the meeting. But we don't say to set up the time. We say to set the time of the meeting, all right? And to set up the meeting. To decide on the place, to decide on the time, decide on the probable duration, to decide on the people who will attend the meeting. And you set up a meeting. All right, to set up a meeting. It can be a formal meeting or it can be an informal meeting that takes 5 seconds to set it up. Or it can take 5 hours to set it up properly. It depends on the type of meeting. Board meetings often take a long time to set up because the board members always have different agendas, different diaries, different agendas, and so they need to coordinate. A secretary or a person, the secretary of the board, needs to organize and coordinate in order to set up the meeting. But to set up a company, yes, I set up a company in 1977. I set up another company in 1987. I set up a third company in 1991. I'm trying to remember. That company died, the third one. Then I set up another company in 2002. It's still functioning. All right. I set up another company in 2006. I set up 2 companies in 2006, okay? Yes, but most of the companies, well, practically all of the companies basically are involved in languages, all right? To set up a company. And then I had to set up an organization to set up things, to set things up. Yeah, have you ever set up a company? All right. Have you ever set up a business? Okay, when you set up a business, you need to be careful. You need to perform very serious self-analysis, which means to analyze yourself. It's very romantic and very attractive, the idea of setting up your own company. But before you do it, the most important consideration is not capital, it's not product, it's not market, it's not financing, it's you. The most important consideration before setting up your own company is you. And you need to think about yourself, okay? Because 90% of every new business dies in the first 5 years, okay? Only 10% survive the first 5 years. And of the 90% of deaths, 50% of the reasons is the incompetence of the owner-manager. All right, the person was not competent for whatever reason. Maybe the person was not willing to work hard enough. Maybe the person was not willing to do a lot of the dirty work, the unpleasant tasks. Maybe the person was simply not intelligent enough to run a company. Maybe the person couldn't get along with, couldn't find good subordinates and then properly lead and manage those subordinates. Most of the time, it's the owner-manager's fault when a company fails. So, If you want to set up a company, make sure, number one, that you're not afraid of hard work and willing to work hard. And when I say work hard, I mean 70 hours a week, working from 7:30 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night, and often all day on Saturday. Because when you start up a company, to make that company successful, you have to work very, very hard. It's not romantic. However, it's very stimulating because you are your own boss. You don't report to anybody except the banks, your customers, your suppliers, and your employees. Really. Of course, if you have employees, they report to you. But at the same time, essentially, you report to them because they need to be happy. You need to keep your customers happy. You need to keep your suppliers happy. You need to keep your employees happy. And you need to keep your shareholders or partners happy if you have partners. And you need to keep the banks or your financiers happy. So you have a lot of bosses, but you don't have a direct hierarchical boss. So you don't really report to anybody hierarchically. Okay. But you need to think, can I work? The independence, being alone. Nobody is patting you on the back saying, Richard, eres todo un tío. They don't say that to you. So you don't have reinforcement, psychological reinforcement when you set up your own company. So you feel alone. Can you handle that? You have a lot of responsibilities. Can you handle that? You need to have good communication skills normally for customers, suppliers, and employees, and banks. Can you handle that? To set up a company is not so easy. I'll be back in a few minutes. It's an interesting subject, the subject of setting up a company, setting up a business, setting up your own business. It's very romantic, as I told you before. It's very attractive. The idea of being independent, of being your own boss, not reporting to anybody is a very attractive proposition. But there are a lot of other considerations because it's a big responsibility, it's a lot of work, and there's a lot of risk. The possibility of failure always exists. Success is fantastic, and you can make a lot of money, you can earn a lot of money, but you can lose your shirt as well. Can you handle uncertainty? Can you handle risk? These are a lot of important questions, very interesting questions, but not for today. This is an English course, not a business course. Maybe in the future we can talk about this. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Hello there and welcome to part 2 of class 170. My name's David Waddell and I'm here with my excellent pupil Marina. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. And you?
I'm very well, thank you. Today we're going to look at a new phrasal verb, to set up. Now, Marina, what does to set up mean? I mean, it has many meanings, but can you name a few?
Establecer.
Establecer, yes. Another one? Organizar, por ejemplo, montar un negocio, por ejemplo. There are many different examples, but the best way to practice is just speaking. Yes, so I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to answer them in the affirmative, as always. Yes, so are you setting up a company? Are you setting up a company? Di que sí? Very good. Okay, Marina, are you setting up a company?
Yes, I'm setting up a company.
Muy bien, repeat.
Yes, I'm setting up a company.
Very good. Y no se dice company. Company. You say it perfectly. Are you setting up a company? Yes, I'm setting up a company. I'm setting up a company. Montando un negocio, yeah? Montando. Yes. We don't say riding or even mounting.
No.
Okay, so to set up a company. To set up a company. Okay, now ask me if I'm setting up a company. A ver. Very good. Ask me if I'm setting up a company, Marina.
David, are you setting up a company?
Very good. Repeat.
David, are you setting up a company?
Very good. Okay. No, I'm not setting up a company. Now, are you setting up a company? Repeat. Very good. Setting up a company. So one meaning of to set up. Okay, another one. Ask me who's going to set up a company. Ask me who's going to set up a company. Very good. Marina, ask me who's going to set up a company.
Who's going to set up a company?
Very good. Repeat.
Who's going to set up a company?
Who's going to set up a company? Again.
Who's going to set up a company?
Perfect. Okay. Who's going to set up a company? Jorge is going to set up a company. Jorge is going to set up a company, okay? Now, what did I say, Marina?
You said that Jorge was going to set up a company.
Very good. Reported speech. Repeat one more time.
You said that Jorge was going to set up a company.
Good, good. So I said that Jorge was going to set up a company. Very good. I might do that again. That's a good exercise for you, I think. Okay, the next one. Ask me if I've ever set up a company at home. Ask me if I've ever set up a company. Very good. Ask me if I've ever set up a company. Si alguna vez, yeah?
Have you ever set up a company?
Good. Repeat.
Have you ever set up a company?
Have you ever set up a company? Again.
Have you ever set up a company?
Have you ever set up a company? Again.
Okay. Have you ever set up a company?
Muy bien. Good. Okay. Have you ever set up a company? Repeat. Very good. No, I've never set up a company. I've never set up a company. What did I say?
You said you had never set up a company.
Wow. Perfecto. Otra vez.
You said you had never set up a company.
Very good. So what did I say before in casa? What did I say? Good. You said you had never set up a company. Or you said you'd never set up a company with the contraction. You'd. You said you'd never set up a company. Let's do another one, shall we? Okay.
Right.
Ask me if I'm setting up a meeting for next Thursday. Ask me if I'm setting up a meeting for next Thursday. Okay, one more time. Much better, very good. Okay, so ask me if I'm setting up a meeting for next Thursday.
Are you setting up a meeting for next Thursday?
Very good. So how do you translate this, to set up a meeting? In Spanish, how would you say that?
Fijar, organizar.
Good, organizar, fijar, very good. So another use of to set up, yeah? So repeat again the question, yeah? Repeat the question again.
Are you setting up a Are you setting up a meeting for next Thursday?
Very good. Are you setting up a meeting for next Thursday? Are you setting up a meeting for next Thursday? Repeat. Very good. Okay, what did I say? Marina, what did I say?
You said that you were setting up a meeting for next Thursday.
Good, repeat.
You said you were going to set up a meeting for next Thursday.
No, you said you were setting up a meeting
for next Thursday.
Because as you know, we can sometimes use the present continuous for future plans, yeah? So that's why we said, yes, I am setting up a meeting for next Thursday. You said you were setting up a meeting for next Thursday. Very good. So what did I say again? Good. You said you were setting up a meeting for next Thursday. Very good. Okay. Ask me if I'm going to set up an investigation. Ask me if I'm going to set up an investigation or set up an inquiry. A ver. Good. Are you going to set up an investigation or are you going to set up an inquiry? So good. Marina, ask me if I'm going to set up an investigation.
Are you going to set up an investigation?
Very good. Now ask me if I'm going to set up an inquiry.
Are you going to set up an inquiry?
Good. Inquiry is the same, really. Yeah,
Yes.
it's investigación. Yeah. Good. Yes, I'm going to set up an inquiry. What did I say? A ver. Te he pillado. Otra vez. Very good. What did I say, Marina?
You said you were going to set up an inquiry.
Again?
You said you were going to set up an investigation.
Yeah, you were. You said you were going to. You were
Okay,
going to. You said you were going to set up an investigation. One more time.
You said you were going to set up an investigation.
Yes, sometimes when you say were, I understand the negative, so I'd want it even shorter. You were going to. You were going to. You said you were going to set up an investigation.
You said you were going to set up
You were.
You were going to set up an investigation.
Okay, and if I said no, the negative?
You said you weren't going to set up an investigation.
Good, you said you weren't going to set up an investigation. You said you weren't. You said you were going to set up an investigation, or you said you weren't going to set up an investigation. Very good. Okay, let's do another one. Ask me if Alba is going to set up the equipment. Ask me if Alba is going to set up the equipment. Very good. Okay, ask me if Alba is going to set up the equipment.
Is Alba going to set up the equipment?
Repeat.
Is Alba going to set up the equipment?
Very good. Okay. No, she isn't going to set up the equipment. What did I say? A ver. Very good. Okay, Marina, what did I say?
You said she wasn't going to set up the equipment.
Good. Who?
Alba wasn't going to set up the equipment.
Good. So you said Alba wasn't going to set up the equipment. Repeat.
You said Alba wasn't going to set up the equipment.
Very good. So in this case, set up is montar again. Yeah, montar el equipo.
Yes, so instalar.
Instalar. Very good. Excellent. Okay. Ask me if I've ever set up a theatre company. Yeah. Very good. Ask me if I've ever set up a theatre company.
Have you ever set up a theatre company?
No, I've never set up a theatre company. But that's all we have time for, I'm afraid. Thank you very much, Marina. Thank you very much at home, and keep practicing. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, welcome back. Let's move to camera one. We have some work to do. Please, camera number one. Okay. Tell me, let's see. Yes, tell me to fold this paper. Wait a moment. We are going to have a conversation, you and me. I will assume your role in the conversation. So I will be two different people. I'll be myself, and I'll be you. Okay? Tell me to fold this piece of paper. Excuse me, Richard. Fold that piece of paper. What do you want me to do? I'm sorry? I want you to fold that piece of paper. Oh, okay. What am I going to do? You're going to fold the piece of paper. Ah, good. What am I doing? You are folding the piece of paper. And now what am I doing? Well, you're still folding the piece of paper. Okay. And what have I just done? You have just folded the piece of paper. Very good. Now tell me to unfold it. Excuse me, Richard, unfold it, please. What do you want me to do? I want you to unfold it. Ah, so what am I going to do? You're going to unfold the piece of paper. What am I about to do? A punto de. You're about to unfold the paper. And what am I doing? You're unfolding the piece of paper. Fine. Okay. What have I just done? You have just unfolded the piece of paper. All right. Tell me to pick up the cup. Pick up your cup, please. Excuse me, what do you want me to do? I want you to pick up your cup, please. Ah, what am I going to do? I suppose you're going to pick up your cup. Okay, good. Now, what am I about to do? I suppose you're about to pick up the cup. I can't see the cup, but I suppose you're about to pick up your cup. Good. What am I doing? You're picking up the cup. All right. So what have I just done? You have just picked up your cup. All right, tell me to take a sip of water. Tell me to take a sip. Un sorbito. Tell me to take a sip. Richard, take a sip, please. Excuse me, what do you want me to do? I want you to take a sip, please. Ah, okay, so what am I going to do? You're going to take a sip. What am I about to do? You're about to take a sip. What am I doing? You're taking a sip. Okay. What have I just done? ¿Qué es lo que acabo de hacer? What have I just done? You have just taken a sip. You have just taken a sip. Well, tell me to put the cup back down. Put the cup back down, please. Excuse me, what do you want me to do? I want you to put the cup back down. Well, fine, yeah. So, what am I going to do? You're going to put the cup back down. What am I about to do? Apunta, apunta. You're about to put the cup back down. Good. What am I doing? You're putting the cup back down. What have I just done? You have just put the cup back down. All right? Tell me to raise my hand. Excuse me, Richard, raise your hand, please. Sorry? What do you want me to do? I want you to raise your hand, please. Yeah, but which hand do you want me to raise? My left hand or my right hand? I want you to raise your right hand. Fine. When do you want me to do it? I want you to raise your hand right now. My right hand. Yes, your right hand. I want you to raise your right hand right now. Okay, so what am I going to do? Well, I suppose, if you follow my instructions, I suppose you're going to raise your right hand. Am I about to raise my right hand or my left hand? Well, if you follow my orders, you're about to raise your right hand. What am I doing? You're raising your right hand. All right? Good. What have I just done? You have just raised your right hand. Fine. Tell me to lower it. Lower it, please. What do you want me to do? I want you to lower your hand. I want you to put it down. What am I doing? You're lowering your hand. All right? Now, tell me to say something in Italian. Well, Richard, say something in Italian. Fine. Well, what do you want me to say? I don't care. Say anything. Fine. Okay, fine. Yes. But do you want me to say a word? Well, yes, I want you to say a word. Okay, fine. So, what am I going to do? Well, I suppose you're going to say a word in Italian. Yeah. Yes. So, what am I about to do? Well, I suppose you're about, estás a punto de decir algo. You're about to say something, a word in Italian. Good. Máquina. Máquina is not a word in Italian, it's a word in Spanish. Well, it's a word in Italian too. Oh, does it mean the same as in Spanish? I don't know. It means car. All right, coche, la máquina. Okay. If it means a machine too, I don't know. I suppose so. I suppose it means both, but I don't speak Italian. Maria speaks Italian, so she knows. Maria's máquina, car in Italian? She's not listening. She's not paying any attention. She's wearing headphones and she's not paying attention. How do you say car in Italian? La macchina? Is that right? Yes. How do you say macchina, machine in Italian? Macchina too? You see? It's the same. They use the same word. Yes. Se me estropeado, se me ha averiado la máquina. Okay. So, now, what have I just said? You've just said a word in Italian. Yeah. Now tell me to drop my pen. Richard, drop your pen, please. Excuse me, what do you want me to do? I want you to drop your pen. Ah. So, what am I about to do? You're about to drop your pen. What have I done? What have I just done? You have just dropped. You've just dropped your pen. Well, tell me to pick it back up. Excuse me? Tell me to pick it back up. Huh? Pick it back up, please. What do you want me to do? I want you to pick it back up. Good. What am I about to do? You're about to pick it back up. What am I doing? You're picking it back up. What have I just done? You've just picked it back up. Very good. You're getting better with your English. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Hello and welcome to Vaughan Inglés 4.0. My name is Alberto Alonso. That's right. We hope you're studying. We hope you're following along with us because it's the only way to improve. So, remember, study, repeat, and say everything aloud, en voz alta. Because if you don't say it aloud, you're not really saying it. No lo estás diciendo. Yo no puedo decir una palabra, que sé una palabra si nunca ha salido de mi boca, esa palabra. Entonces, tiene que salir de tu boca para ser tuya. Si no, you can't claim it. I can't give you that word. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my student, Juan. Hello, Juan. How are you?
Same old, same old. How are you?
Same old, same old. Good. 5 points. I like that. I like when my students use things I teach them. And because I try and teach you things that are useful, things that you'll hear often, right? And things that you'll need to use often. Ask me what we're going to do first.
What are we going to do first?
First, we are going to look at 5 vocabulary words. And then we're going to do basically one of the most complete exercises that I think we can do. And it's just a test in verbal agility. We do like 10 different tenses. We do vocabulary words. You'll see. It's all combined into one exercise. So stay with us. Don't even think of going anywhere. Okay, here we go. The first word is martillo.
Hammer.
Hammer, that's right. Hammer es un martillo. And it's also the action. I was hammering a nail. We have a joke when someone is hammering something and they go, ow! We say, wrong nail. Do you understand it? Because púa is nail and uña is nail. So they say, wrong nail, wrong nail. And also, to be hammered is estar borracho. To be very drunk is to be hammered. I was hammered last weekend. Okay, seguimos. Alguien con mucho talento.
Gifted.
Yeah, we can say talented or gifted, con un don. Right? Someone who's gifted, they have a gift, tienen un don. Okay? Let's see, enano. Leo Messi, we said before, right?
Dwarf.
Dwarf, dwarf, eso es. And also, lo usamos como un verbo también. Si un planeta, I'll give you an example. That planet is so big, it dwarfs the other one. Eso, hacer que algo parezca más pequeño de lo que es to dwarf. Es un verbo. Ahora, dwarf es singular. Plural,
Dwarfs.
dwarves. Cambia a V. Como knife, knives. Igual, ¿ok? So remember, dwarf es enano, pero también es un verbo hacer que algo parezca más pequeño. The sun dwarfs all the other planets, for example. ¿Ok? Seguimos. Características, rasgos.
Features.
Features. Muy bien, la T y la Uch. Features. En casa no es features, features. Features.
Features.
Perfect. La T y la U. Futuro.
Future.
Eso es. Portugal.
Portugal.
Okay? All right. And the last one is comprometido para casarse.
Engaged.
Engaged. Engaged. That's right. Now you're laughing. I know why you're laughing. I know why Juan is laughing. He's laughing because before the show, I told him about my new idea for Goma Spum English. Do you want me to tell it? Should I tell it?
Yeah, go on.
You think it's a good one? Okay, here we go. You know how they take English and they play with it. They mess it up. All right. We say house, casa, right? House is
Casas.
casas. When is cuando. ¿Cuándo te casas? When do you houses? No se dice así, ¿eh? No se dice así. Pero, see if you like my joke. When do you houses? ¿Cuándo te casas? And then say, caso, case. Me caso la semana que viene. I case next week. What do you think?
It's a great one.
You think I should send it to Goma Spum English?
Yeah, definitely you should.
Okay, now remember, that's not real English, que no es inglés de verdad. Ahora seguimos con el inglés de verdad. Engaged, eso es, comprometido a casarse es engaged. Okay, we're going to do an exercise. All right. I want you to tell me to put away my pen. Guardar el boli.
Could you put away your pen?
Sure. What would you like me to do?
To put it into your pocket?
I'd like you to.
I'd like you to put it into your pocket.
I'd like you to put it away. Seguimos con el mismo verbo. Lo estamos poniendo por muchos. Okay, so one more time. Ask me to put away my pen.
Could you put away your pen?
Sure. What would you like me to do?
I'd like you to put away your pen.
I'd like you to... Vamos a quitar pen y poner it porque se usa mucho más. I'd like you to put it away.
I'd like you to put it away.
Sure. What am I going to do?
You're going to put it away.
Okay. What am I about to do?
You're about to put it away.
Yeah, that's difficult. We got to go quickly. Okay, you're about to put it away. What am I doing?
You're putting it away.
What was I doing?
You were putting it away.
Good. ¿Ves? Hemos hecho 5 o 6 tiempos verbales y el vocabulario. Put it away. Okay, ¿cuál es el inverso?
To take it out.
Take it out. Okay, tell me to take it out.
Take it out.
Ask me politely. Ask me if I would mind. ¿Te importaría?
Would you mind taking it out, please?
Okay, would you mind taking it out? What do you want me to do?
I want you to take it out.
Sure, what am I going to do?
You're going to take it out.
What am I about to do?
You're about to take it out.
What am I doing?
You're taking it out.
What was I doing?
You were taking it out.
Good, all right, good. And that's the idea, to go faster and faster. Okay, how do you say dejar algo?
I don't know, to leave something somewhere.
No, that could be like dejarlo porque se te olvidó. To put down.
Okay.
Okay, porque hemos hecho, el singular es it. Take it out. Vamos a poner con plural, them. Okay? So tell me, I have 2 things, the card and a pen. Tell me to put them down.
Could you put them down?
Ask me a little more politely. Would you mind? Let's be formal.
Would you mind to put them down? Would you mind putting them down?
Te pillé,
you
Sí,
got
soy
it.
malo y te pillé. Okay, so would you mind siempre con ing. Es un error muy común, mucha gente dice, would you mind to? Nunca. Nunca decimos, would you mind to? Would you mind putting them down? One more time.
Would you mind putting them down?
Sure, no problem. What would you like me to do?
I'd like you to put them down.
Sure, what am I going to do?
You're going to put them down.
What am I about to do?
You're about to put them down.
What am I doing?
You're putting them down.
What was I doing?
You
Wait a
were
second.
putting them down.
You were putting them down. You see? Now, the idea is to do it as quickly as Juan. Okay, I'm going to give you one. All right, how do you say quitar? No lo tienes que hacer de verdad.
Okay.
El reloj.
To take off.
Okay, tell me to tell you to take it off. It siendo el reloj.
Could you tell me to could you tell me to take my watch off? Could you take it off?
Yeah, to take it off. Así practicamos con it, porque puede ser cualquier cosa. One more time. Tell me to tell you to take it off.
Could you tell me to no? Could
you tell me to take it off?
Could you tell me to take it off?
Sure. Would you mind taking it off? Okay, stop. What do I want you to do?
You want me to take it off?
You want me to take it off. Okay, what are you going to do?
I'm going to take it off.
I'm going to take it off. What are you about to do?
I'm about to take it off.
¿Estás en ello? What are you doing?
I'm taking it off.
I'm taking it off. And ya acabaste, what were you doing?
I was taking it off.
I was taking it off. What's the opposite? Ponérselo.
To put on.
Put on. That's everybody's favorite one, right? Okay, here we go. Tell me to tell you to put it back on. Ponerlo de nuevo.
Could you tell me to put it on again?
To put it back on, vamos a decir.
Could you tell me to put it back on?
Could you tell me to put it back on? Sure. Would you mind putting it back on? What would I like you to do?
You'd like me to put it back on.
Yes. Okay, what are you going to do?
I'm going to put it back on.
What are you about to do?
I'm about to put it back on.
What are you doing? ¿Estás en ello?
I'm putting it back on.
Toma. And what were you doing? ¿Acabaste?
I was putting it back on.
Okay, see you next time. Ciao.
All right. Class 170 is now part of our history. So we start tomorrow with class 171. This is getting easy. And we only have 25 classes left. Basically, these last classes, a lot of them are simply review of things that you should know very well. However, all of these things are essential for good communication. And remember what I told you 2 or 3 days ago. The things we are teaching in the beginners section are much more important in every type of communication, even negotiating million-dollar contracts. What you find in the beginners section is much more important than what you find in the advanced. So don't underestimate that, the importance of that. See you tomorrow.